Real estate foreclosures are on the rise in America, and six-figure HOA special assessments in Florida. Today, I read an article on foxbusiness.com written by Megan Henney titled, "Home Foreclosures Are on the Rise Again Nationwide." According to the author, home foreclosures rose again in May as Americans continue to grapple with the ongoing cost of living crisis. I'm going to stop here for a moment. When I first read this, the first thing that came to mind was a question. If people locked into a mortgage at a historically low interest rate are struggling with the ongoing cost of living crisis, where are they going to go if they lose their home to foreclosure? Apartment rent is sky high right now. Even a studio apartment in some cities is $2,000 per month or more, and that often does not include parking, utilities, or mandatory concierge trash. Are these people planning on moving home with their parents or moving in with other family members? Or are they going to find a way to purchase a dilapidated RV and live in it? If they are, good luck with how much it costs to park at an RV park these days. Getting back to the article, the author referenced a new report published by real estate data provider Adam, which found that there were 32,621 properties in May with foreclosure filings, which includes default notices, scheduled auctions, and bank repossessions. That marks a 3% increase from the prior year, although it is down 7% from the same time last year. Nationwide, about 1 in every 4,320 housing units had a foreclosure filing in May, according to this report. That last bit of data really puts into perspective how bad this is. On the surface, this really isn't too concerning to me. With that said, unemployment is still low. If we enter an ugly recession and unemployment ticks up, I think the foreclosure data could be a lot worse. I have a lot of friends in the real estate industry. I can tell you that a lot of people have had to scrape together the money for a down payment, closing costs, an appraisal, and an inspection. Some can barely afford the homes that they are purchasing. If things don't go as planned, they can find themselves in financial trouble. If one of the breadwinners loses his or her job and can't find another one quickly, they often can't afford to continue making the house payments, even if they love the house and want to keep it. Not everyone has wealthy parents or grandparents to hit up for money when times get tough. Another problem for some people is the cost of maintaining these homes when things don't go as planned. Some people have no clue how much it costs to replace a sewer line from the home to the street, or how much it costs to replace a roof or an HVAC system, or perhaps to fix a water supply line leak in a concrete slab. As you all know, many Americans do not have an emergency fund. Some spent every dime they had to afford the largest home possible. Some went into debt to finance new furniture for that home, and some maxed out the credit cards to pay for new paint and materials at the home improvement store. I want you to understand this is not the case for everyone. There are plenty of people who paid cash for a home and they are still flush with cash. With that said, there are a lot of people who bought homes in recent years who are barely hanging on. I talked with a guy this past week who said he regretted his home purchase. He told me he had a lot of costly repairs, and he admits he made a mistake buying his home. He's currently unemployed and doing some side jobs in an attempt to pay the bills. Fortunately, he is living with his girlfriend, and she is helping him pay the bills. Only time will tell what happens with this guy. I certainly wish him the best. I hate to see him lose his home after all of the money that he dumped into it because of the problems it's had. I also hate to think about him trashing his credit after foreclosure. Life in this world is a lot harder when you have bad credit. Getting back to the article, the author referenced some interesting information from Zillow. Housing affordability is the worst it has been in decades, thanks to a spike in home prices and mortgage rates. Combined, the two have helped to push the typical salary required nationwide for homeownership up to $106,500. A stunning 61% increase from the $59,000 required just 4 years ago. Let that sink in for a moment. The American dream of home ownership is slipping away. It is so far out of reach for some everyday Americans right now. If people who got a mortgage with historically low interest rates lose their home to foreclosure, it could be very difficult for them to ever purchase a home again in the future, given the high prices and the high interest rate environment that we are in. Some people would not qualify for any home on the market right now because of where interest rates are at. I'm sure some people realize this, and they are doing their best to hang on to their current homes. I'm sure many will be successful in doing this unless we enter an ugly recession and see unemployment spike. Then all bets are off. Who knows what type of problems we might see then? What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I have some other bad news to share with you regarding real estate. I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by MoneyWise and written by Sarah Lewis titled, "South Florida condo owners are dumping their homes after getting slapped with six-figure special assessments." The author of this article referenced a husband and wife who bought a seventh-floor property in South Florida for $490,000 in 2022. 2 years later, they got hit with a six-figure special assessment by the HOA. Here are my thoughts. We are going to start hearing about these more often in the news as condo associations scramble to comply with new safety standards in Florida that were put into place after the 2021 Surfside condo collapse, which killed 98 people. At one time, I owned 6 condos. I can tell you some condo associations are not well managed. In many cases, the board members are not business people. They are just individuals who own a property in the community and they want to volunteer. Some management companies are also not the greatest. Many of these HOAs do not have adequate reserves, and many properties have a lot of deferred maintenance. Sometimes this is because the owners want to keep the monthly fee as low as possible, so they will put off costly repairs for the future. This can often result in more expensive repairs down the road. I've seen this happen personally before my eyes. I actually became the president of a condo association for a number of years because I wanted to turn the place around and protect my investments. I will never buy another condo in my life. I had such a hard time convincing the owners to spend money on necessary repairs. Many had the money to travel, to buy new vehicles, to go out to fancy restaurants, but they claimed they didn't have the money for more expensive monthly fees or special assessments. Some didn't understand what it took to maintain buildings, parking lots, fences, etc. Repairs don't magically happen. They also didn't understand the importance of adequate cash reserves for unexpected emergency repairs. Some of these condo associations in Florida are going to have some major expenses to deal with because of these relatively new safety standards that went into law. Do you know anyone who's already been impacted by this? If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.